You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Tuesday, January 6th. I'm Maria Lizignoli.
And I'm Johnny Connor. Thanks for listening to Four Things to Know.
Our top story today. The immigration crackdown continues here in Minnesota. Today, the head of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, tagged along as federal agents made some arrests.
And do you know why we're here today? You will be held accountable for your crimes.
That was Noem as she talked with a man from Ecuador. DHS claims he is a convicted felon who is now wanted for murder and sexual assault. He was arrested this morning in St. Paul. We don't know where he was taken. We do know arrests like this are happening throughout the Twin Cities. Our Barrett Leone reports from Bloomington, where federal agents were posted for hours today. She spoke to two witnesses.
At one point, more than a dozen federal agents were on scene outside Wilderness Inquiry, this building, a nonprofit you see behind me, a group of protesters to match. And within this last hour, agents put a man into a vehicle that was inside the building, drove away. Now, we did just speak with the girlfriend of that man. She tells us he is a sweet guy with a work permit. Protesters and agents, at time contentious, protesters heckling agents, blowing whistles, shouting. The scene grew until a man was put into a vehicle. Agents cleared the scene. His girlfriend says he was pulled over by ICE for a traffic stop around 7:30 this morning. He got scared, took off, and took cover in the Wilderness Inquiry. According to her, it wasn't until agents presented a warrant to owners of that building when agents were allowed in.
He is a very sweet guy who just works and doesn't do anything, but he doesn't have any arrest warrants, anything in his record for them to do this.
It makes me sad because we're all here for a reason, to have a better future and to give our kids and our families something what maybe back in our countries we haven't gotten. So it does make me feel very emotional.
Emotions certainly high this morning. Now, we also heard from the Department of Homeland Security. They tell us alongside surged law enforcement, they have made more than 1,000 arrests of murderers, rapists, and pedophiles, along with gang members. That's according to Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. Of course, we are going to continue to follow this story. We will have more on this later tonight on WCCO and streaming on CBS News Minnesota.
Number 2, a Minnesota hotel is changing course after getting put on blast for canceling the reservations of federal agents. The Department of Homeland Security posted on X yesterday morning about the Hampton Inn in Lakeville. The post included what appears to be an email saying in part, quote, "We have found information about immigration work connected with your name, and we will be canceling your upcoming reservation," end quote. The Hampton Inn is part of the Hilton hotel chain. Last night, a Hilton spokesperson told us the Lakeville location is independently owned and operated. In a statement, a Hilton spokesperson said in part, quote, "The independent hotel owner had assured us that they had fixed this problem and published a message confirming this. A recent video clearly raises concerns that they are not meeting our standards and values. As such, we are taking immediate action to remove this hotel from our systems."
Number 3. Today, Governor Tim Walz answered questions about why he ended his reelection campaign in the middle of Minnesota's massive fraud crisis. He said he made the decision for himself and his family. He also says Minnesota is under attack by the federal government and says, quote, "Republicans want to tear this state down." Here's an extended clip from his press conference.
So look, for Republicans here, I have more energy than I've ever had. I am committed to this state more than I've ever been. I love this state with every fiber of my being. I believe we are the best state. Have I been perfect in this? God dang no. I wasn't perfect as a teacher. I wasn't perfect as a coach. I wasn't perfect as a soldier, but I was pretty damn good at all those things. And I am committed to getting this right. And I will tell you what, if they think now, game's over for them now. It was all me. I was the bad guy or whatever. Well, put up or shut up now and tell us what you're going to do to make this state better. Answer these tough questions, quit hiding behind this, and expect for the next 11 months for me to ride you like you've never been ridden, to make sure that you're doing your job. And you can make all your requests for me to resign over my dead body. Will that happen? I will fight this thing till the very end to make this state better. And the question that I think they need to decide is when did the guy in the White House resign? When does he take accountability for what he did? Because it isn't going to happen here in terms of us shying away from making the state better.
Walz spoke at a press conference for the state's new family and medical paid leave program. Our Esme Murphy was there, and we'll have more in our later newscasts and online at WCCO.com.
Number 4, negotiations continue today that are impacting more than 40,000 students. We've been following the fight for a new contract for weeks, and now educators in the Anoka-Hennepin School District plan to strike this Thursday, January 8th. That's if they can't reach an agreement on raises and better health benefits. The union president told us they've been negotiating with the district since the summer. Minnesota's largest school district said it met with the union for 8 hours last Friday, but did not reach a deal. Here's more from Union President John Wohlhopter.
What we see is that compared to other districts across the metro area, teachers might be making $5,000 to $10,000 less with the same levels of experience and education. And then when you add on top of it the increase in health insurance costs that we had this year, it's really making it hard to attract and retain teachers here in Anoka-Hennepin where we need them.
In the event of a strike, schools would be closed, and after-school sports and activities would all be suspended. The two sides began negotiations this morning, and as of this recording, we do not yet have an outcome. Those are the 4 things to know today. Now let's check in on our forecast.
Hi, next weather meteorologist Lisa Meadows. As we head into tonight, temps dropping down to the mid-20s underneath cloud cover with fog, also freezing fog possible for tomorrow morning.
And now, here's more to know.
Happening today, a metro city is discussing gun laws, and they want to hear from you. The Edina City Council will consider an ordinance that would regulate certain types of guns and create storage requirements at a special meeting tonight at 6 p.m. The community is invited to provide feedback. Counselors say the discussion comes in the wake of the Annunciation School shooting back in August. But the city law would not be able to go into effect unless something changed at the state level. As it stands now, cities cannot enforce gun regulations of their own. But this wouldn't be the first city to pass an ordinance despite the law. St. Paul did it back in November.
Some good news and bad news for a metro school district. Last night, the Robbinsdale School District made the decision to end an arts-focused middle school program at Fair School Crystal due to budget cuts. But an elementary school, Fair Pilgrim Lane, which was also in danger of closing, will stay open. It comes as the district works to make up for major budget issues after an accounting error led to a major deficit. Since Fair Crystal Middle School is being discontinued, those students will transition to Plymouth or Sandburg Middle Schools next year. So far, the school board has already voted to close Noble Elementary, Sonazin Elementary, and Robbinsdale Middle School. The district's Education Service Center will also close, all at the end of next school year.
The CDC announced it is updating its childhood immunization schedule to recommend fewer vaccines, despite the opposition of the American Academy of Pediatrics. Under the new guidelines, the CDC will continue to recommend vaccines for 10 diseases, including measles, mumps, rubella, and chickenpox. Other vaccines will be recommended for high-risk groups, and immunizations for certain diseases, such as the flu and rotavirus, will now fall under shared decision-making between parents and healthcare providers. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder says this move is concerning.
This is not a safety question. These vaccines are safe. One of the concerns I have here is that when they say some of these vaccines would be more strongly recommended for an infant or child who's high risk, very often we don't even realize someone is high risk until they develop a severe infection that can lead to hospitalization and death. And do we really want to wait for those infections to occur?
Health and Human Services officials said insurance providers will continue to cover the costs of these vaccines, no matter which category they are in. The Minnesota Medical Association says, quote, "The changes add unnecessary confusion and uncertainty around vaccines that have been shown to be both safe and effective. Minnesota law continues to require evidence-based vaccinations for childcare and school attendance."
Today marks 5 years since the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. There are two very different events being held in D.C. marking the day. Democrats are holding a hearing on the, quote, ongoing threat to free and fair elections. That will include testimonies from a Capitol police officer and a rioter who refused President Trump's pardons. The other event will be hosted by former Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio to honor Ashley Babbitt. She was a rioter who was shot and killed by Capitol Police that day.
Back here in Minnesota, the Twin Cities Auto Show is in town, and today there's a special thank you for veterans and active military members. All you need to do is show your military ID, and you'll have free admission to the show today. From the latest SUVs and luxury cars to courses made to showcase these cars' capabilities. Plus, you can see your favorite famous vehicles from movies and TV shows like the Batmobile, the DeLorean, and Scooby-Doo's Mystery Machine.
How fun, Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo. That would be pretty cool.
That would be.
Or to see the Batmobile, that's a fun
that
one.
would be awesome. Definitely grew up with the Batmobile on my TV.
Yeah.
Let's get to sports headlines. It's a big night for basketball. Let's start with college. Gophers and Hawkeyes at the Barn tonight. Big game in the Big Ten. The Gophers are 2-1 in conference play. So is Iowa, Maria. The Hawkeyes ranked 19th in the country. Hawkeyes are 6-point favorites, so maybe an upset tonight for the Gophers. That would be fun. Sticking with hoops, Wolves are back at Target Center tonight. The Miami Heat are in town. On the season, the Wolves are 23-13 so far. The Heat are 20-16.
Should be a good game.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
A Minneapolis woman is being recognized nationally for leaping into action to save a life.
We are here to acknowledge the heroic act of Miss Carmen Black.
Back in May, Carmen Black was walking along Lake Bedeh-McCoska when she saw a toddler run towards the water and slip beneath the surface. And without hesitation, she jumped in after him.
I would like to think anyone would do that if they saw it, but I don't know. I guess this is the right place, the right time. God is good.
The United States Life-Saving Association honored her with the Heroic Act Award. It's the group's highest honor given to non-lifeguards.
Best bright spot we've probably ever had. That's an incredible story.
It really is, because oftentimes drowning doesn't look like panic, alarm, loud. Drowning can be silent. And that toddler just slipped into the water and the father didn't even know. And it happened within minutes. And so it's just so cool how she was just really in the right place at the right time. Plus, quick thinker, because she got in there and she got him out.
Saved a life.
Thank you for listening to 4 Things to Know. With Johnny Connor, I'm Maria Lizignoli. We're here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock.
Listen to 4 Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.